So normally I don't talk about these issues anymore regarding the Long Island Railroad, but something happened last night that I have to actually come out of the woodwork and talk about it, because this is such a major corruption cover-up that's gone on. Last night I was sent a photo, well, I wasn't sent it, but I saw it posted on a Long Island Facebook group of this, a derailed train that is in the West Side Yard just west of Penn Station. And people are saying, "Oh, well, why isn't it on the news yet? Why isn't the news reported on it yet? This happened last night. Why isn't the news reported on it? It's got to be fake. It's got to be something that happened in the past." Well, lo and behold, today, finally, almost a day later, the news finally reports on what happened. The MTA attempted to cover this up. This was a derailment of a train, non-passenger train, in the West Side Yard that has caused significant damage to the tracks. And was covered up by the MTA, and they do not know if it's going to. They're working feverishly to fix the damage. 4 switches have been damaged. They're working feverishly to fix this, but it very well could impact tomorrow's commute. And Joe Lhota, MTA chairman, had to have known about this and decided to cover this up. This is just more of a reason why Joe Lhota needs to resign immediately. And not only does he need to resign, I think he needs to face charges, because this is very serious now. You've covered up a derailment, a major incident for almost a day, and not communicated that with the passengers. That has to be some sort of crime. This is just like the Title VI violations at the MTA. It's just like the Title VI violations at the MTA. And Patrick Nowakowski, people are like, "Oh, he's out of the picture. He's gone. He's fired." He is there behind the scenes, laughing and working with his Wall Street goons to continue to ruin the and he is working with VP Elisa Pica to sabotage Philip Ng, so they can fire Philip Ng or force him out. And once again, because Philip Ng is trying to do right by us here on the main line, but unfortunately he is again being intimidated and told. He probably knew about this too, but was told to keep it quiet, all right, by Elisa Pica and the other people. He may be the president of the Long Island Railroad, but unfortunately he doesn't have the power he needs to have, because he's being overruled by these interests like Elisa Pica. I'm not going to get into the whole thing with the Babylon branch here. I'm not going to get into that, but we know that there's favoritism going on to the Babylon branch. We know the condition of Hicksville is terrible. We know that the Babylon branch, they've pretty much told, and I've heard this from numerous people, that you cannot, and they've told Philip Ng, you cannot touch the Babylon branch. You cannot. That's why they didn't cut their service during the Howard work. You cannot touch the Babylon branch. This is the lily white Wall Street people. You cannot touch them. You cannot mess with them, because they control the MTA. Wall Street controls the MTA, and Cuomo is part of Wall Street. And all I can say is we have a massive cover-up and conspiracy going on in this state right now. All right, and I don't know what more proof people need that Cuomo, and he controls the MTA. All right, Cuomo has stayed out of all these problems. He hasn't showed his face at all. The man is running for re-election, and people have told me he's going to win by a landslide. Guys, we've got to get the word out. Cuomo is a danger to New York, all right? The corruption at the MTA is only going to get worse. And I would not be surprised after this incident, and they're going to try to blame Philip Ng, because they're trying to sabotage him. All these problems that have happened they're trying to sabotage Philip Ng so they can put Elisa Pica in as VP. And now we're back. Once she gets in, we are back to being screwed on the main line again. Because Cuomo's master plan is to ruin the middle of Long Island. He has designated the South Shore areas, particularly the areas from Massapequa Park, between Massapequa Park and Merrick, and also Rockville, Siren, Lynbrook, and maybe Babylon, and even parts along the Montauk Branch. He has designated those as the areas where the special people get to live. All right, so his friends, his lily white bankers, finance professionals on Wall Street, and then the banks can live in their own enclave, but they're going to need cheap labor to mow their lawns. They're going to need cheap labor for all these things. So we're going to put all the illegals and all the degenerates and all the bums in the middle of the island, and we're going to neglect the service. Meanwhile, he can tout, oh, we're getting the double track project done, we're getting the third track project done, but it's getting built inferiorly, especially when we look at that situation at Hicksville. If you saw please watch the station tour that I did with Matt Camper, and we saw a lot of things wrong there at Hicksville. Things you would never see at Wantaw, never, because it's Wantaw, but it's okay in Hicksville. This is what Cuomo is doing to New York State. He is dividing New York State, and if you're not a rich lily white banker or finance professional, you stand to lose if Cuomo is reelected again in November. You stand to lose, all right? And he wants to force us all out. So that's really what it is all about, the massive corruption going on. Cuomo is a criminal. He is a thug. That's why he's friends with people like Ed Mangano. If you're friends with somebody like Ed Mangano, then you got to be bad yourself, all right? Because Ed Mangano is responsible for so much problems in this county. In that video I did the other day with the parks, I think he's responsible for a lot of. He was supposed to make those parks accessible to the public. He never did. All right, and there was a lot of shady stuff going on between him and this Melios guy. So you could see the corruption. You could see all the problems, and we have a lot of criminals in our state government right now. And in order for people to get their trust back in state government, we need to throw Andrew Cuomo out in November, but that's not going to be good enough because we need the federal government. Andrew Cuomo must be indicted. He has got to have been breaking laws. We know that Preet Bharara was very close to indicting Andrew Cuomo, and then Trump, who probably also is a criminal, he is a criminal too. Trump is a criminal. He fired Preet Bharara. Preet Bharara was getting very close to indicting Cuomo. Preet Bharara was the guy who was going after all these Wall Street cronies that were trying to control our government, and they forced him out. And so I'm worried that they're going to also try to force Philip Eng out too. And we cannot stand for this. Folks, New Yorkers, we must rise up and stand together against this tyranny and take back our state, all right? And I know this is an off-topic political video, and yeah, I know it's probably going to receive yet more downvotes. You know what? Those downvotes are probably from people who are in the snob. They're the snobs. They're people from Cuomo's office. This is intimidation. I will not stand for it, and I will continue to make videos about other things. I don't want to really talk too much about this, but when something really major like what just happened comes up, I will make a video about it because it's such a major event that we have to talk about it. And if there are really major events on the Long Island Railroad that are going to happen, I guess I'm going to have to talk about it. There's no choice because the mainstream media isn't, and there aren't enough people on YouTube talking about it. And we need more people talking about this, all right, because it will destroy the Pine Barrens. It will destroy our environment. It will destroy Long Island. And we will see Long Island become like Southern California, divided into the areas with the lily white finance professionals where all the happy people are, and then everybody else, we're going to be stuck with the criminals, the bums, the illegals, and dead downtowns. All right? We can't have this. We can't have 4 more years of this. Please throw Cuomo out in November. And please, also, federal prosecutors need to get involved and force Cuomo and arrest this man. Arrest Governor Andrew M. Cuomo. He is a thug, just like Ed Mangano. They belong in the slammer for the rest of their lives for all the harm that they have done to the people of this state. That's it for this video.